Why don't you come inside and we'll call these idiots.
What is going on, YouTube? Well, those familiar with my channel might be wondering where I'm at right now. Well, I'm gonna try something a little different, do a little experimentation here with this review, because sometimes it kind of takes me a little bit to get in front of the camera, to get everything set up, and then I'm usually standing there collecting my thoughts. So I figured I would try to do this in voiceover form and see how this goes. And who knows, if I like it, I will stick to this. If not, we'll just go back to the way I used to do it. Anyways, I am here to talk about the movie Barbarian. And I was kind of curious about this movie because I had seen the trailer before one of the last movies I had seen. Plus, I had heard good things about this online, and I had seen the scores on various sites like Rotten Tomatoes and thought, this might be worth checking out. So I went into this movie completely blind, not really knowing what it was about, other than what the trailers had shown. And I gotta be honest with you, I thought the movie was just okay. I didn't love it, and I didn't hate it. It just sort of sits in the middle. For me, it's like a lot of movies that are similar to this, and that what works and starts as an interesting premise starts to kind of fizzle out as the movie reaches its conclusion. Like, I appreciate the twist on the old monster in the dark basement cliche, but with the introduction of each new variable, like as the layers get peeled back, I feel like the plot kind of loses itself until it just gets to the end and it becomes kind of silly. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some really good moments in there. There are some moments where it caught me off guard and I was like, holy shit. As well as one pretty disturbing scene that I think rivals the turkey baster scene in Don't Breathe. Which, now that I think about it, that movie takes place in Detroit as well as this one. I mean, what the hell is going on in Detroit? Anyways, this movie is kind of a tale of two halves for me. I think the first half is the more solid half of the movie. I like how the movie slowly escalates the tension, and it really starts off like you don't know what exactly is going on. And like I said, for me, that's the strongest part of the movie. It's sort of simple, it's confined to this little house space, but then all of a sudden, like right in the middle of the movie, there's a hard cut, and all of a sudden we're with a brand new character. And it really is like the movie does a hard reset, and it has to rebuild all that tension and atmosphere that it started in the first half. And I think that's where the movie started kind of going downhill for me. And in a way, this almost feels like it's two short films, like the original film and its sequel, just kind of mashed into one movie. But that's not to say that the second half of the movie was bad. It eventually cranks back up the creepy factor once Justin Long finds himself in the same predicament as the original two characters. Plus, we get some nice flashbacks and reveals as to what is really going on in the house. But not to get too spoilerish, I feel like the movie should have began and finished with the house itself, and our characters just merely trying to get out of the house. But it feels like they shoehorned in this extra ending in order to drag this movie out a little bit more, and it just feels tacked on and unnecessary. But be that as it may, there is a nice moment in there that does kind of catch me off guard, and it kind of plays into the character of a character, so you kind of learn the actual true colors of what this person is. But there's also a moment where I was literally just laughing out loud because of how predictably set up a particular scare was, and it just took me out of the movie. And that's what I'm talking about, where there's things that are good and there's things that are bad with this movie. And I feel like all in all, it's a pretty solid movie up till about that 3/4 mark until the end, where I feel like the movie just kind of starts unraveling and it just drags itself across the finish line. But all in all, you do have to kind of take the bad with the good here. So on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, I am going to go ahead and give it 2.5. I think it was a good movie, a potentially really, really good movie that was just let down by some silly moments, some leaps in logics where characters make decisions that I don't think normal people would make in those situations. Plus, the ending just kind of fizzles and falls flat. But what did you guys think of Barbarian? If you have seen it, did you like it? Did you not like it? Please post your comments below. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Adios. Now, GTFO.